to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We are always glad to see people in the audience. Before we get started this evening, I would just like to take a little bit of time to just think about the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. It seems like, I was thinking the other day after this whole thing came about that anymore we see the flag at half-mast more than we see it at full mast, which is really a tragic commentary, particularly when the reason that it's at half-mast is because we've had another incident in school. And then, of course, we had something over in Mancus that fortunately didn't turn out to be a serious incident, but anymore, you never know. So it's pretty hollow to say that our thoughts and prayers are with these people, but we're awfully far away, and I don't know what else we can do except keep these families in our thoughts and prayers. So do that, please. The first item on tonight's agenda is the consent agenda. This is a group of items that are to be acted upon with a single motion and vote. It's designed to expedite the handling of limited routine matters by council members. I will ask if any citizens in the audience or any council members would like to remove an item from the consent agenda, and at that time, before the vote is taken, if someone expresses that desire, then that item is removed. The items on this evening's consent agenda include the approval of the work session and regular meeting minutes for February the 13th, 2018, approval of the expenditure vouchers for February the 27th, 2018, approval of a renewal retail marijuana store license for the Doobie Sisters, approval of a special event permit for the Cortez Area Chamber of Commerce for their Business After Hours program, which will be held on March the 8th at the Cortez Adult Education Center on Main. Approval of a special events permit for Cortez Retail Enhancement, which is to host an anniversary party for the Colorado Love Outdoors business on West Main. So at this time, is there anyone in the audience or anybody in the council that wants to remove any item from the consent agenda? All right, in that case, may I have a motion, please?
Honorable Mayor, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented with the addition of $45,503.32.
Second.
Archibald?
Aye.
Keel?
Aye.
Lucero?
Aye.
McLaughlin? Aye. Sheep?
Aye. Before we go any farther, we're having some technical difficulties, so ordinarily we put the agenda up on the screens. We can't do that tonight for some reason. So if you would like to have an agenda there in the little box there by the door, and we are trying really hard to speak into the mics so that you can hear us. So if you can't, just raise your hand and we'll try to do better.
They're $1.50 too.
Yeah.
Just please just put the money in the box.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have no presentations this evening. At this time, is there anybody in the audience that would like to address council? Okay, in that case, we have no public hearings this evening. We have no unfinished business, and so we're moving on to new business. Rick, the bid results for a 60-inch zero-turn mower.
Honorable Mayor and City Council, good evening. The 2018 Equipment Fund budget provides $18,000 for the purchase of a zero-turn 60-inch mower that's used in the Parks Department. This unit is replacing a Kubota mower, and the older unit will be sold at auction. Specifications were drawn up and bids received on Valentine's Day, February 14th. We received 10 bids from 5 different firms. So as you notice, some of the firms had multiple units. 2 of the bidders are considered local vendors by our policy. I have in your packet a kind of an overview of the bid tabulation. Stoltz equipment, which has a John Deere, $11,900, and Mesa Verde Motors has a Hustler, $12,654.91. And I've also included a memo from the Parks Department on why they would prefer the John Deere unit, which is the Stoltz. The unit would be $6,100 below the budgeted amount.
And I'm sorry, I just have one question though, because they're the low bid, right? That wasn't a typo, that the John Deere was the low bid?
There were, well, some of them didn't quite meet all the specs.
Right, no, but I'm just saying between that and the Hustler, it's the lower of the two?
Correct.
Okay. So I just wonder why, like, I mean, Mark, you did your memo of why you wanted it, but it was the low unit anyway. Usually when I read your memo, I think we gotta pay more. So why did you do the memo for the lower cost one?
Well, the second Mesa Verde running.
Yes, state your name and address and age.
Identification, social security number.
I can't hear it, thank you.
That's good.
Mesa Verde Motors was low bid, but they didn't meet the specification of the hydraulic lift for the deck. And then, so John Deere was next, and the Tweels, which are the drive wheels, they're kind of a corrugated, no air tire, and that we thought was a good way to go with our increased curb climbing and all that. And I do have a visual of it if you want to see it.
I can.
It's pretty exciting.
Can
I show it to you?
Of the airless wheel?
Huh?
Of the airless wheel?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, show us quick.
Heck yes.
I haven't seen one in weeks.
Did you bring 9 copies?
Selling quite fast.
Wow.
The military developed it.
Why did the military need it?
Well, I already got it flat.
Yeah, it's already broken.
Will this edge along the sidewalks too?
Yeah, with all the mediums we have, we're jumping curbs, and then we're moving around town with all the new developments we have. It seems like we're getting a lot more flats, and they're traveling at a longer distance. So the downtime has become a problem.
Well, but what I'm asking is, tongue in cheek, will this edge along the sidewalks as well as mow the lawn?
Oh, yeah.
It will? It will edge?
Oh, no, it does. I'm sorry.
Oh.
No, I misunderstood you.
Okay.
No, it doesn't edge.
Turn it on the side.
We have tried a mower that does, and it didn't work very well.
Okay. All right. Wow. So if you run somebody over, why they'll be able to get up and walk away with these tires, right?
Not if the blade's going.
Oh, well,
No comment on
yeah, I guess not. Okay, so you're getting what you want for the cheapest price, right?
Yes.
All right, council, are there any questions?
I have none.
May I have a motion, please?
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to award the 2018 60-inch mower to Stotts Equipment at the bid price of $11,900.
Second.
Lucero.
Aye.
McLaughlin. Aye. Keel.
Aye.
Archibek.
Aye.
Sheik.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, the bid results for the 2018 Rotary Park and South Softball Complex. Dean.
Yes, good evening, City Council. Through community input received during the Parks, Recreation, and Forestry Master Plan process 2 years ago, safety concerns were brought forth about our South Softball Complex infields. As a result, the South Softball Complex renovation projects were ranked as a priority 1 in the our Parks Recreation Master Plan, with the North Softball infield getting completed last year and the phased-in infield mix replacement continuing this year. The South Ball Field at the South Softball Complex and the Middle Ball Field at Rotary Park are slated for completion this year. The bids were opened on Friday, February 16th, with 1 bid submitted, and the bidder being All-American Sports Material out of Milliken, Colorado, with a bid of $30,900 for 30 I should say 300 tons delivered, and with a per unit price of $103 per ton. The 300 tons of infield mix will be applied to one softball field and one baseball infield of approximately 11,000 square feet and 15,000 square feet. The Parks Maintenance Division has already used infield mix product purchased from All American Sports Material the last 2 years and has seen great results. The Parks Maintenance Division is requesting for the tonnage to be increased to 385 tons with the same per unit price rate of $103 per ton for a total price of $39,655, which is still under the budgeted amount of $40,000 by $345. By doing so, the Park Maintenance Division will be able to complete the west ball field at the South Softball Complex or one of the other ball fields at the Parque de Vida Complex. So basically, we can get one more field accomplished with that additional tonnage, and we have some that's saved from the year before. Orly always gives me that look. No, so anyway, I'm just requesting that we go with that additional tonnage so we can do a third field instead of just two. Sure. And it's still within our budget.
Might as well. Are there any questions?
I have none. Under budget? Great.
I make a motion awarding the 2018 Rotary Park South Softball Complex infield mix bid for All American Sport Material, and the bid amount is 39,655 pesos to provide delivery red infield mix for the Parks Maintenance Division softball and baseball infield project.
And second.
I know this sounds terribly anal of me, but your motion was in pesos, not dollars. And
are you talking? No said English.
Lucero.
Aye.
Keel.
Aye.
Archibald.
Aye.
McLaughlin. Aye. Sheik.
Aye. All right, appointments to the Parks, Rec, and Forestry Advisory Board, Dean.
Yes, the Parks, Recreation, Forestry Advisory Board consists of 9 voting members, and all of them are Montezuma County residents. Currently, we have 3 adult vacancies for the advisory board. The city has received 2 letters of interest, one from Tim Klein and the other one from Kevin Mulliken. The Parks, Recreation, and Forestry Advisory Board discussed Tim Klein and Kevin Mulliken serving on the advisory board at their Friday, February 16th meeting, and have given their unanimous support for Tim Klein and Kevin Mulliken to serve 2-year terms on the advisory board. For this evening, the City Council may either choose to interview each candidate prior to its decision or forego the interviews and simply base its decision upon the review of the letters of interest and the recommendation of the Parks and Rec and Forestry Advisory Board.
Are there any questions, Council, about these?
No. I think they're both good candidates.
All right, may I have a motion, please?
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make the motion to appoint Kevin Mulliken and Tim Klein to the Parks, Recreation, and Forestry Advisory Board.
Second.
Archibald.
Aye.
McLaughlin.
Aye.
Lucero.
Aye.
Keel.
Aye.
Sheik.
Aye. All right, professional services contract for Wayne Becker. Dean?
All right, Tom Kramlich started as our new golf course superintendent on Monday, February 12th. Tom needs some assistance regarding usage and past programming of our irrigation control system, irrigation system layout, and other working knowledge relevant to our local golf course. Wayne Becker retired on Friday, January 5th from working over 34 years at the Conquistador Golf Course and has agreed to provide consulting services to Tom Kramlich in order to help speed up his learning process of how our golf course irrigation system operates and other working knowledge of our golf course. The city will pay up to a lump sum of $1,600 for 40 hours of contractual services for consulting services to Wayne A. Becker, and any additional work above the $1,600s will need to be approved by the Director of Parks and Recreation, myself, and will be set at $40 per hour. Our new golf course superintendent, Tom Kramlich, is very confident that 40 hours of contractual services would be more than enough of what he needs to learn the irrigation system and other working knowledge of our golf course. Also, the city will cover the short-term liability insurance costs for this contractual service as well. The projected amount to be paid out for the contractual services up to $2,000. And I did a little more investigation on the liability insurance costs and the, I think we're calling it as well, the professional liability insurance as well, just to give Wayne a little more protection on his end. But we should be able to get that for $141 is what I came up with from a business, insurance business.
So 1750 is what we're looking at?
What, no, 100, I mean, yeah, yeah, that would
I
be
figured
approximately,
400 was looking
yeah, if he did 40 hours of service, yes.
Okay.
And again, Dean, we would just be reimbursing him, right? He's
Right,
purchasing
he's
his own
actually
insurance.
going to purchase
Yeah.
the insurance, and then we would reimburse him that amount.
Oh, okay. All right. All right, are there any questions, council?
No, sounds great. Glad Wayne's there to help out. I know that, you know, his knowledge of the inner workings of the golf course out there are kind of unmatched, so it'd be good for him to pass.
Yeah,
that along.
and he's Wayne, I mean, to his credit, he's really been a help through this whole transition, and so I just think it's been great how this has worked out this far.
Good, I'm glad for you.
All right, then may I have a motion, council?
Honorable Mayor, I make a motion to approve the professional service contract for Wayne A. Becker to provide consulting services not to exceed $2,000 unless approved by city management.
Second.
Archibald,
Aye.
Keel,
Aye.
Lucero,
Excuse me, aye.
McLaughlin. Sheep.
Aye. All right, ordinance 1240, series 2018. Sam?
Sam show.
Evening, Mayor and Council. Don't show up often, but we make up for volume when we do show up, so we've got a lot going on. What we have in front of us is the adoption of the 2015 International Building Codes, transitioning from the 2009 series. The I-codes, international codes, are the model codes being used by the city, and it has been, I think, since around 2003. Also inside that is accessible and usable building facilities and National Electric Code regulating the construction, remodeling, and maintenance of building within our city limits. The ICC organization is a 64,000-strong member-based organization. They have a presence in all 50 states, District of Columbia, and is the state of Colorado's building code for all school and state building projects. And I would want to say most all jurisdictions throughout the United States and now internationally are using the I-code, so it's the most common code out there. The I-codes are updated every 3 years to keep up with the evolving technology and building methods. Changes to the I-codes can be proposed by anybody. You don't have to be a member. You can be an individual. The code hearings are held annually throughout the code cycle and voted on by the members before being incorporated into the building codes. National Home Builders Association holds a good presence, or a large presence, I should say, at the I-code hearings, which is of import to us mainly, especially with our local Home Builders Association. As said, we use the 2009 I-code. Most of the jurisdictions around us, Durango, Pagosa Springs, and most of the other West Slope jurisdictions are on the 2015, and in fact, we're kind of transitioning some of them to the 2018. So most of our design professionals, like out of Durango and Grand Junction and some of the others, it's difficult for them to cycle back and forth. If we're still back on the 15, 18, you know, they're gearing up to have been for some time now, to use the 2015 code. So it just makes it a little easier on them. So the Planning and Building Department, we conducted 2 open meetings last year, one on April 24th and one on August 24th, and you should have in your packets there the mailing list that we sent out. It was quite extensive. We listened to feedback from the stakeholders, mainly our construction community that we have out there, and incorporated amendments and deletions as they had requested. Actually, it was fairly minimal. We didn't have a lot of controversy on that. We are proposing to retain the 2009 edition of the Energy Conservation Code. Probably what's given most jurisdictions and our contractors the biggest angst is the later model building codes, efficiency codes, are pretty onerous, pretty difficult to achieve compliance. I shouldn't say difficult, just expensive. And the payback is questionable as far as return on investment for the homeowners. The 2009 edition is also what was recommended by local heating and cooling designers and companies. Checked with them, and they asked that we would stay with the 2009, which is what we're doing. Still provides for a very energy efficient building. The local impact on the local home builders is going to be minimal. And in fact, the 2015 version, mercifully, finally, is starting to go backwards. You know, it's always ratcheted up. It's going to make it easier for remodels. In some instances, they've taken into consideration some of the older housing stock back in the 40s and 50s that have smaller spaces in them, whereas before it was hard to do a remodel in a lot of instances, primarily because of ceiling heights that they were having a hard time achieving. So some relief has been given there. We're also taking this opportunity to clean up a bunch of outdated and/or conflicting ordinances from our city municipal codes, and those go all the way back to 1968. Probably should have been done away with for some time ago. It'll streamline our municipal ordinance book. Right now, if you were to pull open the municipal ordinance book, it has different sections for mechanical code, fuel gas code, different ones. So it's not a one-stop shop inside the ordinance. We're repealing those sections. In particular, we'll be repealing chapters 10, fire protection, 13, fuel gas code, chapter 15B, mechanical, and 21, plumbing, and that will all go into one cohesive chapter. So that'll make it easier both for our constituents and ourselves when we're trying to research and give information out. Also, part of what we're doing with this update is we are eliminating some previously adopted restrictive measurements that were in the building code, primarily had to do with extra structural strength for buildings. As an example, some years ago there was a amendment made to the building code that required all roofs inside the Cortez city limits be decked with 5/8 decking. We've researched it. We can find no good reason to do that. The building code accommodates for whatever snow loads we have, so that it should, any contractors that want to take advantage of that, of the allowable size sheeting for their roofs, will see a decrease in their costs if they wish to do that. There's some other areas that we eliminated as well. There's prescriptive ways to achieve the same performance, but it is a cheaper way for them to do so. Getting back to the energy code, the 2009 energy code, one thing that we did do in this is we also eliminated a section that requires testing of the building itself with, it's called a blower door test. Essentially what you do, it's got a mechanized system, third party comes in, they seal off your front door, they fire up a mechanical blower, and it extracts air out of the building, and you have so many changes of air out per hour. It's very expensive to do. There's nobody here on the West Slope to do that. It seemed right and proper to eliminate that. Also, there was a couple other testing items that we eliminated. Finally, as an overview, the last code cycle, we eliminated the need for fire sprinkler systems for residential. We're doing the same thing this time. We're modifying that just a little bit. We're keeping it in as an option if a builder wanted to do so, put in sprinkler systems. It would give us an empirical inspection schedule to run off of that they decided to do. And the reason we wanted to leave that in there is it also gives them some developer that wanted to do maybe townhouses where they have multi-unit facilities that require fire-rated systems in between the building. It may be a cheaper option for them to use a sprinkler system rather than do the fire-resistant systems. So anyway, that's kind of a high overview on it. We're hoping that we're making things easier, not harder. We're also hoping we're making things less expensive for our builders to do, and also giving them some more options when it comes to remodeling. We can go through all the ordinances. I really want to just kind of give you a high overview, but as we go, if you have questions on each individual ordinance, be happy to answer those questions. There is a couple of them. As we get to them, I'll make a couple of quick comments to them as well. But other than that, it's pretty much each one is going to stand on its own and kind of go from there.
Yeah, I think for me, for the sake of time and you know, my trust in your knowledge, that to expedite this would be just fine.
Yeah, there's 11 of them, so.
Right.
In other words, please, no. All right. So at this point, we're just setting the meeting for the public hearing on March the 13th. Is that correct on all 3 of these, 4 of these?
Yes, ma'am.
So we can just do these all, can we do them all at one time, Mike, or do we have to do each one separately?
I think when we talked about this, Linda would love if you would have a motion for each ordinance.
Okay.
That way it's clear in case for some reason Orly decided not to do one in the middle and he didn't. Or, you know, if everybody's in agreement to do them all, you could probably do one motion to approve the numbers, but it would be a cleaner record if you did the 10 motions.
Okay. Yeah, if that's cleaner for you. Sure.
All right, so let's start with ordinance number 1240, series 2018. Quickly, are there any questions, or then may I have a motion on that?
Honorable Mayor, I make a motion to approve on first reading ordinance number 1241, series 2018.
1240.
Excuse me.
Right here.
On the wrong page.
Well, we could just go on with 1241, we need to do that next, so.
Gotcha, thank you. Make a motion to approve on first reading ordinance number 1240, series 2018, adopting and repealing all ordinances in conflict with the 2015 International Fuel Gas Code, and set for public hearing on March 13, 2018.
Second.
McLaughlin.
Aye.
Archibald.
Aye.
Keel.
Aye.
Lucero.
Aye.
Cartman Sheet.
Aye. Ordinance 1241, series 2018. Are there any questions or comments?
None.
May I have a motion?
Honorable Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve on first reading ordinance number 2041, series 2018, adopting and repealing all ordinances in conflict with the 2015 International Mechanic Code, and set for public hearing on March 13, 2018.
Second.
Keel.
Aye.
Lucero.
Aye.
McLaughlin. Aye. Archibald.
Aye.
Sheet.
Aye. Ordinance 1242, series 2018. Are there any questions or comments on that one?
None.
May I have a motion?
Make a motion approving first reading ordinance 1242, series 2018, adopting and repealing the ordinance in conflict with the 2015. Let's do it on the end of it.
No, it's on the top of the.
On the international.
There it is. International Plumbing Code, and set public hearing for March 13, 2018.
Second.
Lucero.
Aye.
Keel.
Aye.
Archibald.
Aye.
McLaughlin. Aye. Sheet.
Aye. Ordinance 1243. Questions, comments?
None.
Motion, please.
Madam Mayor, I think it's my turn, right?
It is your turn. Get in there quick.
I would like to make a motion to approve on first reading ordinance number 1243, series 2018, adopting and repealing all ordinances in conflict with the 2015 International Property Maintenance Code, and set for a public hearing on March 13th, 2018.
Second.
Archibald.
Aye.
McLaughlin.
Aye.
Keel.
Aye.
Lucero.
Aye.
Sheep.
Aye. Ordinance 1244, Series 2018. Questions, comments?
None.
Motion, please.
Honorable Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve on first reading ordinance number 2044, Series 2018, adopting and repealing all ordinances in conflict with the 2009 International Energy Conservation Code and set for a public hearing on March 13, 2018.
Second.
McLaughlin.
Aye.
Archibald.
Aye.
Lucero.
Aye.
Keel.
Aye.
Sheep.
Aye. Ordinance 1245, 2018. Questions, comments?
None.
Motion, please.
Honorable Mayor, I make a motion to approve on first reading ordinance number 1245, Series 2018, adopting and repealing all ordinances in conflict with the International Accessible and Usable Buildings and Facilities Code. Don't need to repeat that number?
No.
No, sir.
And set for public hearing on March 13, 2018.
Second.
Keel.
Aye.
McLaughlin.
Aye.
Lucero.
Aye.
Archibald.
Aye.
Sheep.
Aye. Ordinance 1246, Series 2018. Questions, comments? Motion.
Make a motion approving the first read of ordinance number 1246, Series 2018, adopting and repealing the ordinance in conflict with the 2015 International Building Code and set a public hearing on March 13, 2018.
Oh,
Second.
McLaughlin.
Aye.
Keel.
Aye.
Lucero.
Aye.
Archibald.
Aye.
Sheep.
aye. Ordinance number 1247, Series 2018. Questions or comments? May I have a motion?
Are we on 47?
We're in 47.
Okay. Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve on first reading ordinance number 1247, Series 2018, adopting and repealing all ordinances in conflict with the 2015 International Fire Code and set for public hearing on March 13, 2018.
Second.
Keel.
Aye.
Archibald.
Aye.
Lucero.
Aye.
McLaughlin.
Aye.
Sheep.
Aye. Unless there are questions and comments on ordinance 1248, Series 2018, may I have a motion?
Madam Mayor, I move to approve on first reading ordinance number 1248, Series 2018, adopting and repealing all ordinances in conflict with the 2015 International Existing Building Code and set for public hearing on March 13, 2018.
Second.
Lucero.
Aye.
McLaughlin.
Aye.
Archibald.
Aye.
Keel.
Aye.
Sheep.
Aye. If there are no questions and comments, may I have a motion for ordinance number 1249, Series 2018?
Honorable Mayor, I make a motion to approve on first reading ordinance number 1249, Series 2018, adopting and repealing all ordinances in conflict with the 2015 International Residential Code and set for public hearing on March 13, 2018.
Second.
Archibald.
Aye.
Keel.
Aye.
Lucero.
Aye.
McLaughlin.
Aye.
Sheep.
Aye. If there are no questions or comments on ordinance number 1250, Series 2018, may I have a motion?
Make a motion approving the first reading ordinance number 1250, Series 2018, adopting and repealing the ordinance in conflict with 2015 International Electric Code and set a public hearing for March 13, 2018.
Second.
Is that the correct title for that, Sam?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch
Yeah,
that.
I think,
For O, I think that's the wrong title now, the one that's on the.
yeah, it's International National Electric.
The international should be deleted, it should just be
Yeah,
the
it-
National
Oh,
Electric.
We've got, yeah, and the thing is, it says International National, which is,
Right. I think on your desk there should be an updated version of the correct one, an ordinance
Oh, it
adopting the
says,
National
yes.
Electric
Yeah.
Code.
All right, so we scrap that motion and make,
It's a IEC code.
so it is,
It should be adopting the National Electric Code, NFPA.
or,
okay,
That would be correct. It would be an ordinance adopting the National Electric
Here,
NFPA 70 code. There should be a fresh copy on that after the typo.
So, just national, just take the international off.
yeah.
okay,
Same thing.
okay,
Yeah.
all right. Do I have a second?
Second.
Lucero.
Aye.
McLaughlin.
Aye.
Keel.
Aye.
Archbeck.
Aye.
Sheik.
Aye.
I feel really
Thank
left out. I
you.
didn't get a third time. We need one more ordinance, Sam.
He's got another page.
Next meeting, we'll
Next meeting, I can do that next.
I'll be
week.
back
That's
in,
okay.
we'll be back in 3 years.
You can have them all then.
After all of that really exciting stuff, we're going to take a 5-minute break. If you'll come back at 8:10, please.
Are you serious?
I am serious.
Okay.
Quick break.
Hey, Sam, thank you. I know that's a lot of work to go through those, so
It
I
was,
appreciate it.
and actually, hats off to Mike Green and his staff, Julie over there for doing this. There's a lot of room for making
Sure,
errors,
yeah.
as we made one.
But just to go through all that stuff, I know is probably
we
pretty
went through it 100
tedious,
times
so
trying to get it right.
thanks.
But anyway, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Are you serious?
No, we're coming back. We're back in session. We don't need a break. We don't have any draft resolutions or ordinances. We don't have any other items of business. Is there a citizen that would like to speak to the council at this stage? Are you still awake? City attorney's report, there is none. I know the city manager will have a report.
Yeah, I just want to mention, I think I'm going to be out of town for the March 13, 2018 meeting. I think as long as that just was, doing all the public hearings for that,
We can hardly wait.
Yeah, I'm kidding. I'll be here. And no, I don't have any report. I can't wait.
Yeah, the rest of us are.
Between that and the airless tires.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. City council committee reports. Did anybody attend a committee meeting except me? Okay. I sat in for Tim Miller on the Cultural Center, and of course I left my notes, I think, at home. So if I missed something, would you step in, please? Actually, it was a really lovely meeting. We started out, Colleen Donnelly from the newspaper came and gave the board some information about their advertising and what the newspaper is doing in order to not only provide advertising and raise the level of awareness for the Cortez Cultural Center in our community, but also to give the board some feedback on what the demographics are and who it is that's liking and some of those kinds of things. And so that was quite interesting. And so I think that the board had decided that they're going to continue that contract with the paper at least for another year to, so that hopefully that information will provide them with some direction and what they need to do. They talked about the fact that they've got a couple of slightly off-center Southwest tours that are scheduled, and this year they will also have 2 farm tours that will be offered to the general public and 2 ranch tours. And these are local farming and ranching families that have agreed to open their operation up to the public. And the Cultural Center will see how that goes. And if it's something that looks like it's successful, then they'll certainly add some more of those kinds of tours to their roster of activities. They are having some success with their gift shop. And are looking for ways that they might be able to use their outdoor plaza facilities to be able to increase its usage and also generate some additional income for the organization. Of course, the native dancers will be there this summer as well, which is always a nice plus. So is there anything else that I failed to? No, I think you got it all. Okay, good.
In your honor, I'm sorry, I did forget one thing.
Well, your time's up, I'm sorry.
Too late.
Okay. Well, then could somebody mention to the group that we have the TES Talk this Friday?
Oh, yes, the
Yes.
test talk is this Friday.
From 7 to 8:15 at the high school.
At the high school.
And it's Dave Stevens, who was born with no legs and has been extremely successful. So it's no longer going to be our final TES Talk. Mark Drudge and John are working on bringing in 1 or 2 more speakers.
For this year or for a new season?
No, I think to just kind of extend this season.
Nice.
But anyway, I think it's going to be great. It's this Friday, 7 to 8:15 at the high school, so hope to see everybody there.
He's also going to be talking to the students prior to that during the day, which I think is pretty cool.
that's good.
So,
He is. That's
yeah,
right.
if you guys get a chance to go, please do. They're pretty cool things to see.
And I think that it's Monday. I think they're doing the documentary, The Sunflower Theater, this Monday, which is a little out of their usual. If you haven't had a chance to go to those are usually pretty good too. This is going to be on farm worker organizer. Hang on just a second. I have to find the workshop notes. Here they are. We met several new employees. Our new city intern, Peyton Heisman, who is in the back there, was introduced
Everybody
to us.
look at Peyton right now.
Yes. I won't make you stand up. She started on Monday, and we're really thrilled to have her on board. She's going to be working with most of the departments, or all of the departments, on a variety of different projects. So they're all excited, and we're excited to have her. We have 2 new public works operators. Travis Gabney's working in the water department, and Jeff Lively is working with the streets crew. So we were glad to welcome them on board. We had a lovely presentation from Lori Dixon, who is the executive director for the Four-Core organization on electric car charging stations. It looks like the future may be coming to Cortez any day now. We had an update on the pass to Mesa Verde from James Diederich, who is with the county, and it's a long, slow process, but they're continuing to work on this project, and it's going to be really interesting to see how far we're able to get. Lots of impediments, but there's lots of interest in moving this forward. And there was also a very brief discussion. Apparently, there had been a request by a citizen to change our city code having to do with the residency requirement for marijuana licenses here in the city of Cortez to bring them in line with the state requirement. And it was the consensus at the workshop that we would just prefer to leave our ordinance as it is right now. And that was it. Does anybody else have anything for the good of the city?
Oh, good.
All right. We're adjourned.
You know, in spite of 10 ordinances you guys rocked through here.
Sorry.
Well, yeah, I was thinking we weren't going to be able to expedite those. It's like, it should be like 2 hours.